Hello there and welcome to episode 45 of From Then to Now, TEW 2020 save where we take the World Wrestling Federation from 1992 all the way up to the modern era. And in this episode we have got another episode of Superstars for you, hailing from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the glory home of the AWA. We haven't been here since September, so actually not that long ago we last here in this building, but honestly, if you go through, there's not that many buildings in this save. Like, if we filter 10,000 seaters, then unless we just live in the southeast, the southwest and New York, or barely even New York, they've just got Madison Square Garden and the Nassau Coliseum. But unless we just live in those places, we do end up going to the same places quite often. No, we're in Hawaii. Like, there's very little. We do end up repeating buildings, we will. We need to go to New England soon, we've not been there in a long time. But what I tried to do is keep the map a little bit more realistic. I use the spillover. So, next stop will either be the Mid-South, Great Lakes, or the Southeast. We one of those locations. But enough of my admin work there, so let's get right into this show, which has got a dream main event. For people who absolutely despise each other. Two of them who I called lifelong rivals, who will be forever rivals last episode. And they're going up at each other in a tag team match, along with another person who's probably a forever rival with one of them. Might actually be the biggest on paper match I think I've booked. And we're throwing it away on an episode of Superstars. You can tell this isn't like real Superstars was, can't you? Let's get into this show. And the episode kicks off slightly differently, with Ted DiBiase and IRS coming down to the ring. And they're essentially saying, we never lost our tag team titles. Well, we did, but we shouldn't have. We only lost them because I got injured in that match because of the recklessness of the Hart Foundation. We want our titles back. They get interrupted by the Miracle Violence Connection, who also want the tag team titles back. And they get interrupted by the Smoking Guns, who basically say, whoa, you say you deserve the tag titles. Without us last week, you'd have been beaten into the ground. We were the ones who saved your asses. And they get interrupted by Haku and the Barbarian, who are basically like, yeah, we were the ones doing the beating down. So, I don't know what you're laughing about. And Jack Tunney then makes an announcement. He announces what he's calling the Tag League. For the next 3 weeks, all 4 of these teams will face each other in a round-robin competition. And the winner of the competition will face the Road Warriors at the Superstars at Survivor Series. There we go, that makes it official. At Survivor Series will be where this match takes place. It gets a 72 rating, and we're going straight into our first round robin matches right now. As the Smoking Guns defeat Haku and the Barbarian, when Billy Gunn pins the Barbarian with a Sidewinder after Fatu accidentally hits Haku. Now we're starting this Tag League isn't going to become a yearly tradition, but I wanted to start it smallly and a bit more narratively rather than just announcing, hey, we're doing a full round-robin tournament now. Because I really love booking round-robin tournaments, they're really fun, they're quite easy to book. But didn't want the first one to feel like it was a bit out of place. I wanted the first one to feel narrative, which is why I've had the 4 tag teams who, all realistically, are intertwined and deserve a shot at the tag titles. But Billy Gunn picks up the win here. The Smoking Guns go forward to 2 points. And the second match, oh Jesus Christ, a 77 rated match, as Money Inc. defeats the Miracle Violence Connection when Ted DiBiase rolls up Steve Williams. IRS was by far the weakest in this match, but I'm not going to have Money Inc. lose straight away after coming back. I know it's probably the biggest match in the tournament, this is, but that's a bit of fun. 77, great stuff. The British Bulldog is backstage being interviewed by Gene Oakland. And he gets interrupted by Jim Cornette. And Cornette comes in and says, "Hey Bulldog, I assume you met my client a couple of weeks ago, Kaiji Muta, one of the top stars, a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Well, he's decided it's been a little too long since he has had gold. He's been here for a few weeks and he's not even had a sniff of it yet. And he thinks that's too long. And unfortunately, Bulldog, you're my target in this. You're the man he's decided to go for. We issue a challenge. British Bulldog versus Kaiji Muta. Saturday night's main event." And Bulldog looks at Oakland, a bit taken aback by this. He was just going to be interviewed. And Bulldog says, "Okay, mate, I'll give you your challenge. I accept your challenge. At Saturday night main event, I'll take your client. And I will push him right back to the back of the line." Gets an 80 rating because, Cornette's an amazing promo. And Oakland's pretty good without a script as well. Cactus Jack makes his second defense of the International Television Championship in his open challenge, taking on Glenn Jacobs. And they have pretty good chemistry, I wonder why. But he gets a 71 rating, an 82 for Cactus Jack, and a 46 for Glenn Jacobs. A 71 overall, not too bad. In the end, it's a roll-up. Cactus Jack doesn't win definitively, because we are trying to push Glenn Jacobs as a strong mid-carder at this point. Eventually, he is going to go away. I'm going to send him probably maybe on an excursion to war for a few years, and give him a chance to develop into what will eventually become Kane. Crush and the Repo Man say, "You're in this tournament, Money Inc., but we challenge you for a match at Saturday night's main event. There's nothing which says you can't accept that. It'll be us, Crush and Repo Man, versus you. Although, maybe we need to go back to basics a little." And they just look at the camera. And there's a little smirk on Repo Man's face. If you can't work out what that means, genuinely, just how did you get this far if you can't work out what that means? This is a niche of a niche of a niche. Randy Savage bumps into one half of the Dream Team Tag Team for tonight, Dusty Rhodes and Hulk Hogan. And essentially says, and they just basically just chat backstage. They're ready for the big main event. It's the first time they're the team together. And they're going to prove that they might not just be amazing single stars, they're going to be a phenomenal tag team. And they're going to put down their opponents tonight. A 100 rating. And in a match which almost could even be considered a dream tag team match, the Horsemen, Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect, lose to Bret Hart and Barry Horowitz, when Horowitz hits a schoolboy on Mr. Perfect. Bret miles ahead of everyone else, it's 94, phenomenal stuff. Michaels is 74, 78 for Perfect. Horowitz is obviously the weakest link, but the storyline kind of did dictate. He gets a little bit of comeuppance on the Horseman. It's an 81 rating. And a 69 for Razor Ramon. It's not really got anything in it. I just needed to fill 6 more minutes on the show. Well, a few more minutes. And a Razor Ramon promo. He's not appeared for a couple of weeks. Give him a little promo. He can talk about his goals going into for the end of 1992 and into 1993. 69 rating though, good stuff. And the main event of Hogan and Rhodes versus Flair and Undertaker. And it is the Flair and Undertaker team which wins. We don't really have... It's a tough one to say, call them the bad guys team. But they are. In this situation, Undertaker pins Dusty Rhodes with the Tombstone Piledriver. Gets a 91 for Flair, an 82 for Taker, an 80 for Hogan, and a 60 for Dusty. Dusty is definitely going to be a multi-man guy from now on, I reckon. But it's 83 overall. And after the match, Ric Flair is celebrating, where he just gets flattened from behind by Yokozuna. Yokozuna just lays into him, bang, big splash, and he gets pulled off, and we get a face-to-face Yokozuna and The Undertaker. Two massive guys going face-to-face, and I'm hoping the crowd will go full-on holy shit for this, and based on the 100, I think they did. Great stuff. I want this main event scene to feel busy, that there's so many people, especially, we're going into the Rumble season in a couple of months. We need to be able to feel like anyone can win the Rumble. I don't want it to be like, oh, it's obvious who's winning. I think it needs to feel like there's so much main event talent, anyone could realistically win it. That's what I want. I think segments like this help. Weekend 86, we finally get a good one. It's been a while since we've had a great episode recently. But this is one. Increase our pop in 19 regions. Just shows when we actually do focus on our main event storylines, rather than these sort of upper mid-card ones. We do put on some phenomenal TV. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Less than half of you are. And I know we can do better than that. But that's all from me today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.